let's start, I guess, with these nominees. Let's just jump right into it. How does, despite Mahomes and Wilson being on this list, how does Lamar not win this one when we're all expecting to be MVP, Carson?
I mean, how does he not win both? I mean, he had such a great year on the ground, too. He had almost as good of a year as some of the ground nominees.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Russell Wilson's year has been unbelievable. Patrick Mahomes was hurt for, essentially 2.5 games and still was spectacular statistically. So, that's what's so great about it is it's voted on and awarded by the fans to the winner. So it's so important for the fans to vote, and they can vote by logging on to the NFL Twitter page or at NFL.com/FedEx. Patrick Mahomes won it. I feel like he won it last year in Week 7. I mean, he just ripped off a 50-touchdown year, 5,000-plus yards. It was amazing. This year it wasn't, as dramatic, especially with the injury. But what Lamar did through the air and on the ground, it was just a spectacular year for Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens.
You make a good point. I think they just, the folks at FedEx and the NFL just want to give Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, and Christian McCaffrey their due and not put Lamar in the running category either. That's a fabulous grouping of 3 players. McCaffrey, though, joining my buddy Marshall Faulk and Roger Craig, is the only 1,000 rusher and receiver running backs in the same season. That's a pretty hefty number to try and compete with, despite what Henry was able to do with Nick Chubb go down to the last game of the year for the rushing title.
Well, and what Christian did it with, too, was, he had a head coach get fired in December. He had, 2 offensive coordinators. He had Cam Newton, Will Grier, Allen, 2 rookie quarterbacks. What he did it with is truly amazing. Without a real number one threat outside, you have to worry about at receiver, where every defense just focused on him. And I think back to my second last year in Arizona, David Johnson was so close to getting 1,000. We went into the L.A. Coliseum to play against the Rams in Week 17. I think David had 1,000 or 1,100 yards rushing. He had 940 yards receiving, and we went in with a game plan to get him the ball, to get him that 1,000 yards receiving. And he ends up hurting his knee with 3 minutes left in the first quarter and didn't get it. So I saw firsthand how difficult it is. It happened right in front of my eyes, and we were forcing him the ball and trying to get him 1,000. And I saw how just difficult it is week in, week out, touching the ball that many times, taking those hits. And for Christian to do it with two different head coaches, multiple coordinators, multiple quarterbacks, it was truly just a fantastic year by him.
Yeah, it sure was. Do you know, Carson, how many career rushing yards you had?
I feel like you've maybe asked me that before, and I've been hit in the head so many times that my short-term memory is just not that good.
Nope.
I'm going to say around 100.
No,
over 15 years. That's not
come
bad.
on now. No. You don't. You were a tremendous slouch. You weren't just a regular slouch. Don't worry. You were a tremendous slouch. 474 career rushing yards on 301 totes, Carson, though. We'll do the math for you. That's a .63 yards per carry in your career.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby for a half a Canadian kid from Southern California.
So, do you remember what your longest run was? Do you remember that one?
I remember my longest run in college. I ripped off a 50-yarder against UCLA in the Rose Bowl, but it was because they were playing prevent defense. I was going to throw a Hail Mary, and I just decided not to throw it because I didn't want to throw the pick. And I ended up having the longest run of my career, but I don't remember my longest run.
According to this it's Pro Football Reference, so they get everything right. You ripped off a 16-yarder as a 37-year-old in your second to last year in the National Football League.
Okay. I was probably, 6 to 7 miles an hour if you were to have a gun on me. Maybe 8.
Oh, man.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.